Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our DVC cooking show. My name is Ben Malin, and I will be taking us forward once again this week. And this week, we are going back in time, one more time, to the opening day of Walt Disney World, and we're going to be at the Liberty Tree Tavern, which still stands now. But what they don't serve anymore is called the Fruited Brown Betty, which basically is the easiest apple crumble you'll ever see in your life. These are simple ingredients. It's mostly baking, and this villa is about to smell amazing. So we're going to get right to it. Of course, if you're enjoying these videos, they are sponsored by the world of DVC, and that is dvcresalemarket.com, dvcrentalstore.com, and monerafinancial.com. If you have any needs in any of those areas, they are going to take care of you. But as for us, let's get right to it. All right, so for the Brown Betty, the first thing that you need is some stale bread. So if you've got some bread, leave it out overnight. If you weren't able to do that like us, put your oven on at 350 degrees, put that bread in there for 15 minutes, and you're good. That's going to give you that stale bread effect. You want stale bread because it's going to absorb everything better and not get so soggy, okay? When you've got that, you've crumbled it up, it's in the bowl, add all of your brown sugar, 3/4 of a cup, but only a 1/4 cup of your white sugar. You're going to need that other half cup later. Melt your butter however you want. We're doing it on the stovetop because it looks pretty, but you do have a microwave, and you can easily melt your butter in there. Either way, you're fine. When we get to the apples, you'll see in the video, if you cut just to one side of the core and then lay that down flat, you can get a lot thinner slices out of that, a lot easier. I then take the slices, cut them into 3, and you can take a lot of these apples all throughout the Brown Betty, and you're going to get chunks of apple in every bite. It's really, really good that way. And that is where you're going to put that other half cup of sugar in, along with your spices. I use cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, and cloves. If any of those weird you out, you can leave them out. Maybe you want some more salt in there. That's up to you to interpret however you want. But when you've got those two things side by side, this is where you get to put everything together. Normally you'd see something like this in one of those 8x8 tins, but in this room, we had an 8-inch square, an 8-inch round glass bowl with a lid. That's perfect because when you're done with it and it's cooled off, it's in the fridge and it's sealed. That's so easy. And that's going to be pretty good for breakfast. So it's 1/3 of your crumbs, your crumb mixture on the bottom, half of your apples, another 1/3, the rest of your apples, and then that last bit of crumbs on top. You'll have 2 more tablespoons of melted butter that you drizzle on, and then you throw it in the oven at 350 for 45 minutes and forget about it for about 20 minutes until you start realizing how good your villa is smelling, because that's what we're still dealing with now. And as soon as you're done, you're done. You can take this out, let it cool down for a little bit. Whenever you're ready to eat it, you're ready to eat it. And it's going to be delicious. And for that, we will have Drake Shadwell once again pop out from behind the camera and tell you all what he thought of what we did today.
This was so good. I had my first bite at the table and stopped because I went over to the couch and just settled in. Like, and that's the real benefit of making something in here is it had that just done warm feeling. Like, forget the flavors, we'll get there, but that feeling of biting it in and it just made my whole body as soft and as gooey as the Betty was, and I felt like I needed to sink into the couch, and I had that opportunity because I was in this resort and in this room, and it felt like how desserts are supposed to taste. It felt like it was sweet and had like the crunch from those. I learned today that you make the bread stale in order to give it that crunch. That was nice, and the apples were very crisp as well. Um, the whole flavor profile blew me away. Like that, he said, get rid of the things that you don't like when it comes to the nutmeg and no, bump that, expand your spice drawer and use what he used, because it was delicious and you don't want to deviate from it. The cinnamon was just right, went really well with the apples, and I just kept thinking just in shock that I knew the ingredients in there. It was bread and apples and spices and butter. That was about it. And yeah, I can absolutely imagine popping this in for 45 minutes, playing a game in the living room or putting something on the TV, and then next thing you know, like you're smelling it, next thing you know, it's ready, and then just the whole family getting around with a spoon and just not even being polite enough to get a plate. You should, but maybe not. It was so good. It was absolutely, whip this up in your kitchen and just wow your entire family.
All right, so that will do it. That was the fruited Brown Betty from the Liberty Tree Tavern. We have had a lot of fun once again, and it still smells amazing in here right now. And that's all. I mean, if you want to reach out to me with any questions or suggestions or any of that, my business email will be in the show notes below. That's havenbakeryllc@gmail.com. It's my business email if you want any of my baked goods. Also for that, feel free to reach out and I'll be there for you. But of course, please leave your comments down below. Let us know what you're missing from Walt Disney World. If you have any fall recipes or holiday recipes that you'd like to see us do, and we would be happy to tackle that with you. But that's going to do it for this week. Have a great week. Bye-bye.